Hi, friend. If you're in a high conflict custody battle or trying to co parent with someone who is narcissistic, abusive, or manipulative, this one's for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to use artificial intelligence, yes, tools like ChatGPT, to outsmart your abuser at one of the most powerful levels communication. That means no more obsessing over how to word your messages, no more falling into his traps, and no more emotional exhaustion from trying to gray rock your way to safety. We're going beyond gray rock and yellow rock today into strategy, power, and clarity. Let's go. I'm Tiffany Lesnick with Live Free Legal. I'm an attorney and I'm also a survivor of domestic violence. And I'm going to teach you things that I have learned to help you improve your legal outcomes. So, why does communication matter in abuse cases? In family court, communication isn't just emotional, it's evidence. When an abuser emails, texts, or uses apps like Talking Parents or Our Family Wizard to provoke you, he's usually trying to get an emotional reaction to use against you, or to create a false narrative, or to trigger you so that you appear unstable or uncooperative. Every word you send becomes either your weapon or your weakness. That's why you have to be surgical. But how? With artificial intelligence. AI helps you stay calm, sound professional, and respond with clarity and control. And most importantly, it helps you build a narrative that a judge, a guardian ad litem, a parenting coordinator can believe and follow. So, how do you use AI to defeat abusive messaging? So, we're going to show you some examples of how to use AI. In my last video, I taught you how to use ChatGPT, right? So, we have to give it a little bit of information about ourselves, who we are, our background information, who we're communicating with, and then we have to give it a command or a prompt. We have to tell it what we want it to do for us, right? So, here we're going to tell ChatGPT a little bit about us, not any overly personal information, but just, hey, I live in North Carolina. I live in Raleigh. I'm the wife. I'm abused. I'm in the middle of a legal case. This is my husband. He's narcissistic, abusive. I have this many kids, etc. And in this particular case, we're using AI to teach us how to communicate with our abusive spouse or ex. So you receive a manipulative message. So we're going to go ahead and put his message into ChatGPT. And it says, the kids told me you're still letting them sleep in your bed. That's messed up. You're clearly incapable of parenting like a normal adult. You need help. This message is bait, right? You feel defenseless, but you don't have to draft your response alone. So you're going to prompt AI to say, rewrite the following message to my narcissistic ex in a professional, neutral tone that would be appropriate for a judge or a GAL to read. And then we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to see how ChatGPT responds. By the way, ChatGPT isn't the only AI tool that is available out there. There are many AI tools that are available. And one of them actually is specifically catered to situations of domestic abuse, and that is Aimee Says. And it's AIMEE says. And I have heard from people how extraordinary and life changing it has been using Aimee Says. So would encourage you to try both of them and see which one feels best for you. But why does using AI to change the way you respond to your abuser? Why does this work? It works because you don't take the bait. It redirects your communications to him in an appropriate way, and it keeps you in control. You don't have to panic every time you receive a message from him, right? You have some guidance, some help to help you draft messages that are going to help you appear calm and in control in court. Another way that we can use AI is we want to set a boundary without escalation. So let's say you're angry, right? And you want to send him a message that is going to prompt escalation with an abuser. So you're thinking about sending a message. Please do not contact me outside of Talking Parents unless there is a medical emergency involving the children, period. So we can take this message and we can put it into AI. So we're going to type in this message into AI and give it a command. So AI, please help me draft this message with stronger boundaries and without sounding angry or emotional. And then we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to see what type of response we get from ChatGPT, right? It's going to give us a message that's going to be court appropriate, that's going to help us diffuse the escalation. So the result is powerful, enforceable, and respectful. Beyond gray rock, we're going to use AI to find your voice. Gray rock and yellow rock are survival tools. But in court, you don't just want to survive, you want to win. And with AI, you can communicate firmly without being aggressive. You can set boundaries that are court admissible, and you can draft communications that undermine the abuser's false narrative. So, for example, you receive a message from him that says, "Of course, you're late again, just like every time. The kids are going to learn how irresponsible you are." We're going to go into ChatGPT and we're going to type in his message. Here is a message that I received from my abusive spouse, and we're going to give it a command. Help me draft a short response that does not engage in blame and affirms the actual timeline of the exchange. Enter. And it gives us this beautiful response that's factual, brief, to the point, and doesn't engage in any further escalation. It's direct, emotionally neutral, and admissible in court. Another way that we can use AI is to communicate with professionals in our case. You may have a guardian ad litem that's appointed. You might have a parenting coordinator that's appointed. You may have a referee from the court that is appointed. Many times, my clients have a hard time communicating with these professionals. They're reactive, they're emotional, especially when it comes to their children being harmed. And they may say things that a professional like a parenting coordinator or a GAL is just not receptive to. So we can use AI in order to help us communicate with these folks who may not understand trauma dynamics or may be influenced by the abuser's charisma or manipulation. So we can use AI to draft communications that show your reasonableness, document the facts, and avoid sounding high conflict. We always get that label high conflict. In this example, we're going to use AI to help write an email to the GAL explaining that my ex has failed to follow the court order for 3 weeks. I want to sound factual, concerned for the children, and not emotionally reactive. And then we're going to hit enter, and we're going to see how it prompts us and what kind of response we get. And we can cater the response that we get as well. We can ask ChatGPT or AI to give us additional responses. Could you make this a softer response? Or could you make this more polite? Or could you add in additional facts to this particular email or response? And it will give us an output that has more information in it. This has been a game changer for my clients in responding to their parenting coordinators or their GAs. They have improved their relationships with those folks, and they've actually seen the parenting coordinators and those appointed actually starting to turn against the abuser. You can also ask AI to help role play the guardian ad litem or the parenting coordinator and simulate what questions they might be asking you. If you're going to have to set up a phone call or an interview with any of these professionals, it'll give you an idea of what kind of questions you may be asked. You can also ask AI to help you come up with responses. What are reasonable responses that a parenting coordinator or a GAL would want to hear in these scenarios? And that's another way that you can use it. So let's say you receive communication from a guardian ad litem or a parenting coordinator, and they're asking for your input into a situation, and you panic because you're like, I don't know how to respond to this. So you can cut and copy their email to you or their communication to you into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, give it a command. I received this email from my parenting coordinator. I am not sure how to respond. Help me design an appropriate response that'll be well received by my parenting coordinator. Hit enter and voila. And again, you can customize it. If it doesn't exactly give you the answer that you're looking for, then you can add additional facts or additional details so you can get a more customized response. ChatGPT and AI has a specific way of formatting its responses. If you have a response that's partially bolded, you get dashes, make sure you format Review the response from AI before you cut and paste it into an email. You don't want the person to know that you're responding to that you are in fact using artificial intelligence. We want to customize and make our messages look personal. So if there's anything that ChatGPT does consistently, if it doesn't sound organic, it doesn't sound like it's coming from you, do cater the message, do customize the message so that it does appear like it is a personal message and not something you're just copying and paste. I want you to hear this. You are not powerless. Even if your abuser is louder, richer, or more manipulative, he is not smarter than strategy. And now you have one of the most powerful tools at your fingertips, artificial intelligence, and it is smart. Use it to draft every message with wisdom and restraint, clarify your voice with professionals, document patterns without sounding emotional, and protect your peace while building a powerful narrative for court. Because communication isn't just what you say, it's what they can prove. And now you can prove that you are calm, consistent, and the protective parent that your children need. Let AI help you write your truth in a way that speaks volumes to your judge, your GAL, your parenting coordinator, your abuser, and your own healing. You've got this. And as always, you don't have to do it alone. Join our community. Subscribe to Live Free Legal coaching program. We're starting a new coaching program in the fall, right after Labor Day. If you go to www.livefreelegal.com, you can click on the first page and get on our wait list for our legal coaching group specifically for women going through the same things you are in fighting post-separation litigation abuse. You can also join our Empower Her. It's $35 a year. And you're going to be connected with a community of women who are going through the same things you are. You also have access to a live Q&A once a month. You're going to get our newsletter. You're going to get access to devotionals. You're going to get access to all kinds of information, free legal templates, and other resources. I'd highly encourage you to look into an Empower Her annual membership for just $35 a year. And check the description for more AI prompts, tips, and supports. Give us a thumbs up, like us, and share this video with another sister who needs to hear this. We need to help empower one another. Join us next time, 7 p.m. on Wednesday. We do a video every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the YouTube channel at Live Free Legal. And next week, we will be talking about using AI to calculate support, create budgets, and prepare financial affidavits. So if you're going through a child support case or an alimony case or a spousal support case, that is not a session that you want to miss. See you next time.